Hi, everybody. How's everybody? Thanks for popping in. And if you're popping out, I appreciate you popping in anyway. I am Sharon, Tarot Sphere 25. We are going to dive, or I'm by myself solo today. I'm going to be diving into a murder mystery unsolved, the Jamison family that disappeared in 2009. But before I do that, I just want to give you guys some info, because I don't think a lot of you know a lot about me. I have been doing ghost hunting, ufology for going on 30 years. I was even shooting a documentary for 4.5 years in a place I won't disclose, out in take that back, out in Colorado. And my Nerd Night shows is going to start disclosing some of the information that went on with those 4.5 years. But I've been doing this a long time. We are going to get into this mystery. We're going to use my dormant tarot deck. We're going to light it up with the lights, see if we can further enlighten ourselves with answers for what happened to this family. So I just wanted to give you a little more about me. We do so much fun stuff. We have Bethany from Pollen and Stardust Astrology. She comes on usually about once a week when she's in town. We have Nerd Night every couple of weeks. That's my husband, my friends. We just do some weird, nerdy stuff, and I'm obsessed with my fog machine, and we make it kind of cheesy and fun, but it's still extremely informative and very, very fun. And then I do my mysteries. At any rate, I do readings, all of that. So let's carry on, shall we? The Jamison family. This is a tricky one. There's Bobby, the father, 44, Sherry Lynn, 40, Madison, 6, and then the dog, I don't know how old the dog was. Dog was found alive. Macy, I think, was the name. Yeah, Maisie with a Z, I-E. Okay, so apparently they decide they're going to go buy property, possibly live in a container. There was talk that they had the container. They wanted the property to put the container thing on. There's nothing unusual about that in today's day and age. I mean, even in 2009, that's when people really started getting into toning down like expensive housing and all that. And they were refurbishing container units for living homes. I mean, it wasn't that unusual. Now, what is unusual is, I guess, the father, Bobby, he had some health issues, and so he didn't move around very well. But I know plenty of people who do side projects and things, and they have physical challenges. So not convinced there that this is really something that weird. I actually know people that talk about doing this all the time. So October 8th, there is a video showing them packing up the truck. Some people said they were overpacking. I don't know, like, how do you know? Like, I don't get that. But they're packing up the truck. There is speculation that they look like they were in a trance. I did some investigating on the film itself, and it was way back in the day where it recorded frame by frame by frame by frame. So it's possible it could have just, the framing could have made them look like they were in a trance. So when I looked at it, I guess on one site it looked like it maybe, and on another site it didn't look like it at all. They looked very healthy to me. They were just packing up their truck. As they all get in their truck, they have $32,000 in cash with them, their dog, they're good to go. They're heading about an hour outside their house, and they are never seen from again. As I said, this was October 8th. Then on, what was the day? October 16th, their truck was found. They were not in it, but the dog was. The dog was alive and inside the truck. Also, her purse, his wallet, $32,000 in cash, and there was something else. Oh, his cell phone. They were all found in the truck. Okay, now let's all think about this for a minute. You're going to look at property. You love your dog. I mean, they loved that dog, and the daughter, Madison, was very close to Maisie. This is property. So wouldn't you think when you get out of the car, you're going to bring the dog? I mean, this makes absolutely no sense. Even if my kid was getting out, had to pee or something on the side, I probably would let the dog out so that they could relieve themselves as well. Also, snakes, all sorts of things. You never know. Even if I was going just 10 feet behind a bush, I would bring the dog. This makes no sense when all three get out of the truck. It just doesn't. It doesn't jive with me at all. The dog is found in the truck, I said, on the 16th, and then it wasn't until, that was 2009, so almost a year, no, wait a minute, did I have that right? No. Okay, so that was 6 days later, and then in November 16th, 2013 is when, and that was found, the truck was found by a hunter, and then hunters came across the bodies in 2013. Now, this is really strange. The bodies were about 2.7 miles from the truck. It was in pretty harsh territory, like brush and rocks and stuff. They were also found on a hillside. Okay, that's weird, not flat. And they were found laying next to each other face down. Now, because of how many years went by, the coroner could not confirm how they died. Couldn't find, like, the bones were a mess. They just weren't intact. They couldn't do toxicology reports for drugs. They couldn't do any of those things. But they couldn't find any evidence of, like, a bullet or knife wounds in the bones, and they couldn't find anything like that either. So let's backtrack slightly before we get into my theory, and then we're going to see if we can get the lights out and see if we can contact and get some enlightenment on this. Bobby's dad was a nutcase. He owned, I guess, a gas station, and he was into prostitution and meth and all this bad stuff. And Bobby had actually sued his father for not paying him his money due for working at the gas station. His father was crazy, threatened to kill the whole family, at least on two occasions, November 2008 and April 2009. They disappeared October. So the family it is said that they were terrified of Bobby's father. This isn't just like, family here and there, just communications. This was like serious. He did try to run Bobby over. His father ran him over. When was the date of that? His own father ran him over. I'll find the date. It's in my notes somewhere. You guys know me. I do so many of these. I just don't retain all the details. I have to have all my notes. But anyway, also Sherry Lynn's mother lived with them. Bobby's father ran into him with his vehicle on November 1st, 2008. This is crazy. Sherry Lynn's mother lived with them. She said there had been a big change in her daughter. They were seeing ghosts and all this stuff, and well, maybe they were. I don't know what that has to do with anything, honestly. There is suspect of meth use from time to time or not at all, or I mean, it's just scattered. There's a lot of people are saying they were not doing drugs, maybe smoking some weed. I know very few people who don't, so I don't see a big deal with that. Anyway, the daughter was happy. So here we are. I'm also told there are people who know who killed these people, but this is one of those weirdo towns where the sheriff and everybody supposedly, entertainment only, thank you very much, kind of controls what happens through possible manipulation, threats, whatever. You know, you hear about these towns that don't really have to, like, they just follow their own rules. Well, I've heard that. I've read that in the research as well. So this is what I think. We'll find out. I think they may have picked up a hitchhiker. I feel like there was somebody else in the car at some point, whether they left with them from the house, ran into someone they know at a gas station, somewhere along the way from point A to point B. I do believe another person. That's why I think the dog was in the car. Sherry Lynn had a gun. It was never recovered. She also had a briefcase that was never recovered that is seen being put in the car. So her gun is gone, never to be found. And I think there's somebody else in the car. That's what I think. Because listen, they didn't take the dog with them. The father is not in good physical health. He has a lot of ailments. It's hard for him to get around. Why wouldn't they take the dog? Why wouldn't they take the dog? Why would they trek 2.7 miles away from the truck? Why would they be found on a slope, a hillside, in harsh terrain? Okay, so I know the theory, they got lost. Come on. Their bodies were found face down, all three side by side. They were ordered to lay down. I'm telling you, I can feel it. I know it. I know it. So all this other with the drugs and everything. See, I think there's somebody who didn't even know they had that cash on them. That's why I was thinking maybe they ran into someone they know who got in the truck with them and decided, hey, I'll go with you. Or they picked up a hitchhiker, or, you know, maybe a hitchhiker couple, something like that. I do feel like it could have been more than one person. That's just coming through for me. Because why would they, there's no way anyone would have not have taken that money. I mean, and these people, you don't just die side by side, face down in the dirt. You don't, that doesn't make any sense. So everybody died at the exact same time, face down on the dirt. And it was like, what, a murder-suicide? That makes no sense. None. Okay, so enough of that. Let's get into it. I'm gonna pull my cards. Oh, death. Okay, let's get some shuffling done. I had not shuffled yet, so I'm not taking that into account, but it's kind of weird. All right, Jamison Family, Jamison Family. See what we get. Guide me through the Jamison Family mystery. Let's see what we get here. Oh, two out there. stealing, walking away, and swords. Okay, this is, somebody knows something. Somebody knows something about their dirt nap. They are terrified that the judgment is going to come back at them. I do believe these people are somehow associated. Somebody did this. Without a doubt, to me, somebody did this. Memories. Fallen. Voice with the sword. Money. What's the next choice? What do we do now? What do we do now? Let me pull 3 more cards with this and see if we can please tell me more about their demise. More about their demise. Well, I think it was pre-planned. I think whoever did this got wind that they were going to go to look at some land. And it was in a hurry. To end this in the situation. And they're still working on it. They're still working on keeping it quiet. That's not definitive to me at all. So let's go ahead and get the lights out. Sorry, all the moving around. I'm so sorry. I hope I'm not giving you vertigo. I live with vertigo almost every day, and I'll tell you what, I hate vertigo. So I'm sorry if we're doing this. Okay. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. All right, are you here? Yes, thank you. All right, we are talking about the Jamison family that disappeared in 2009. Bobby, Sherry Lynn, and Madison. Their dog was found locked in the car along with $32,000 in cash. The gun is missing. They were found on a hillside 2.7 miles from their truck, and they were face down, side by side. Were they murdered? Yes. I want to ask that again. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to use that word. YouTube, please forgive me. Were they unalived? Were they unalived by the hands of other people? Okay, were they unalived by the hands of other people? Yes. Were they unalived by more than one person? No. Were they unalived by a relative? Yes. Was that relative Bobby's father? No. I'm surprised. Was the relative unsuspected? Was it an unsuspected relative that would have hurt them? Yes. Were they looking for the money? No. Did they know about the cash? No. Were they hired to kill the family? Yes. By another family member. Were they hired by another family member? Were they hired by Bobby's father? Yes. And I'm hearing strangled. Were they strangled? Yes. Let me ask this. The person who unalived this family, were they in the car with them? No. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I just heard something saying they were followed. Did they follow them? That's why the dog never got out of the car. They followed them, came up on them, and I keep saying they. Was there more than one person involved in this unaliving? That's a no. It's one person, but they trusted this person. Did Bobby and Sherilyn trust this person that took their lives? Yes. Did the dog trust this person? Yes. Wow. Well, there you have it. I hate cliches. I take that back. I hate that. There you have it. It's just so unvalidating for what these people went through. I'm so sorry. Well, that's interesting. All right. So, if you have any comments, put them down. I'd love to read them. You can book readings with me too. Just catch me at tarosphere25@gmail.com. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be doing a big show with Bethany, the astrologer, and I'm going to do another show this afternoon. So great seeing you guys, and have a good day.